Our representatives control everything in our lives, from how clean the water is that we drink, what our standards of education are, how smooth our roads are, how many police officers our city has, how often radio stations identify themselves, and so much more. It is imperative that we take a piece of this power for ourselves and use it to better us all. Hi, I'm Nicholas Miller, and today I hope to empower you to take a step beyond voting, whether or not you're eligible, and become truly active in government. I hope to inspire you to learn a new fact about your government, write your representatives a letter, call them, or become truly active in government. Now, I know half of you probably just groaned under your breath at the thought of spending the next 6 minutes talking about government. As Eric Liu, a civics professor and TED presenter, said, to us, government represents something that is extremely important and extremely boring. But it shouldn't. I hope to instill upon you a desire that when you hear the word government, you get excited and you get prepared to make a difference. If we're not together and active in our democracy, our government will collapse. The Ohio Literacy Network, a part of Kent University, whose mission is to inspire Ohioans and Americans to take a more active role in government, said, our country is a democracy, which means it's run by the people, for the people. Doina Lugdenholm, a professor at the University of Pitești in Romania, said citizen engagement is the bedrock of a democracy. Now, you're probably thinking, I have absolutely nothing to do with Ohio, and I'm not about to go to Washington, D.C., so what can I do to be involved? Well, my mentor and upper school history professor, Dr. Davis, says start small right here in our very own city. Eric Liu says that in the 21st century, there's no arena more powerful for practicing civics than the city. How can you be active in the city? Dr. Davis says use technology. A survey from Time magazine found that 70% of people are on Facebook. Odds are your local representatives are some of them. Reach out to them and see what happens. Also, try thinking of all of the people that you know. I know it's a difficult task, but it's one I first undertook when I began researching this topic. And I found I already knew several people who are active in government at the local level. My neighbor is an Arlington City Councilman. Dr. Davis helped me on this front too. He introduced me to Dr. Myers, a professor of government at SMU, an Arlington City Councilwoman, and an Oak Ridge parent. Dr. Myers and I had a great meeting, and she explained to me a multitude of philosophies for civil engagement, especially citizen turnout. What would happen if every person voted in every election, not just every 4 years? Now, I like to think of voter turnout and civil engagement in general as a Viking ship. If not everybody does their load on the oars, then the ship will go nowhere. I also like to think of government as an onion. Once you peel away the initial city layer, you'll find that there's a state beneath it. Now, getting involved at the state level can be a little bit of a challenge. You have to drive to Austin or fly there and get a hotel room and take time out of your schedule. It takes work, and not everybody is fortunate enough to partake in our state's capital. But in March, I was. I participated in Youth in Government, which gives the students enrolled in an opportunity to emulate our state's government firsthand. We create bills much like our legislators do, take a trip to Austin, and actually debate our bills on the same floor and in the same desks as our legislators. This was a huge honor for me, and it really gave me a deeper understanding of the way our state's government works. Of course, if you can't go to Austin, you can still be active with technology. The hashtag TexasLedge on Twitter will let you connect with other like-minded, governmentally involved people. You might even connect with your representatives. You'll find that you really get an insider's look at what's going on in Austin, all from your smartphone. Now, state and local governments have a great deal of effect on a smaller group of people, but nothing affects us all as much as the federal government. If getting involved at Austin seems like a challenge, getting involved in Washington, D.C. can seem almost impossible. As Dr. Myers put it, we think of Washington, D.C. as them. How can we be involved at the federal level? Well, I like to use one of my favorites, C-SPAN. Going to cspan.org, you can watch any government event for free from your own computer. Whatever object you would like, you can watch it. Every governmental event, gavel to gavel. It is a great way to get a front row seat at the inner proceedings of our federal government. Plus, a C-SPAN cable subscription costs just 6 cents a month. With that subscription, you can get commentary from your actual representatives, plus watch all of the events. It is a great way to get such a deep understanding of the way our federal government works. Or you could try to be a little more old-fashioned and use a letter. Letters may seem like a pain. You have to write them and address them and mail them and wait for response. But they are such a personal way to communicate. With a letter, somebody is physically sitting down and holding your thoughts in their hand. And trust me, If you can vote for the person to whom you wrote the letter, they will write you back. Now, all great things in life have obstacles, and government is no exception. You'll find that with government, if you're so active you start to shirk some of your other responsibilities, you're going to trip over the clock. To overcome this, I like to think of government as a necessity, and I try to plan parts of my day around it. I find I still have time to do all of the things that I want to do in my day without having to stay up later. I'd like to impart upon you one last piece of advice from Dr. Myers today, and that is popular sovereignty, which is the belief that through their representatives, the people hold all of the power. We have the power, and all we must do is reach out and take it. What will you do when you get a piece of your power? Thank you.